From the streets of Stalingrad to the beaches of Normandy, submachine guns changed warfare forever. These rapid-fire weapons turned ordinary soldiers into close-quarters killing machines. Here's every single one that saw action in World War II. Thompson M1928, USA. The Thompson. American gangsters made it famous, but GIs made it legendary. Firing .45 ACP rounds at 600 rounds per minute, this 10-pound beast could punch through winter coats and still drop a man. The drum mag looked cool, but soldiers actually preferred the 30-round stick mag. It was lighter and didn't jam in the mud. MP40, Germany. The MP40. This wasn't called the Schmeisser by Germans. That's Hollywood myth. Chambered in 9mm parabellum, it fired 500 rounds per minute and was built from stamped steel to save costs. Paratroopers and tank crews loved it because at just 8 pounds, you could actually move fast. Over 1 million were produced. ppsh 41, Soviet Union. The ppsh 41. The Red Army's answer to everything. This drum-fed monster spat out 7.62 by 25mm Tokarev rounds at a blistering 900 rounds per minute. Cheap, reliable, and deadly, Soviet factories pumped out 6 million of these. In Stalingrad, the sound of a ppsh was the last thing many German soldiers heard. Sten Gun, Britain. The Sten. British commandos called it the plumber's nightmare because it looked like pipe scraps welded together. And honestly, it kind of was. But for £2 and 5 hours of factory time, Britain got a 9mm submachine gun that actually worked. 32-round mag, 500 rounds per minute, and it could be dropped from a plane to resistance fighters across Europe. MP18, Germany. The MP18. The grandfather of them all. Germany invented the submachine gun concept in 1918, and this 9mm weapon proved that automatic fire could win trench battles. By World War II, it was outdated, but German police and re-echelon troops still carried it. 32-round snail drum, 450 rounds per minute. Slow by World War II standards, but it paved the way. Beretta Model 38, Italy. The Beretta Model 38. Italy's finest contribution to World War II small arms. This 9mm beauty fired at 600 rounds per minute and was built like a luxury sports car. Machined parts, excellent accuracy. German troops actually preferred captured Model 38s over their own MP40s. That's how good it was. Owen gun, Australia. The Owen gun. Designed by a 24-year-old Australian inventor, this weird top-mounted magazine SMG became legendary in the Pacific. Chambered in 9mm, firing 700 rounds per minute, it worked flawlessly in jungle mud, rain, and coral dust. Australian soldiers trusted it with their lives, and it never let them down. PPS 43, Soviet Union. The PPS 43. When Leningrad was under siege, Soviet engineers designed this compact 7.62mm SMG that could be built in basements with minimal tools. Folding stock, 700 rounds per minute, and it weighed just 6 pounds. Simple, brutal, effective, everything the Soviets needed when their backs were against the wall. M3 grease gun, USA. The M3 grease gun. America looked at the Sten and said, "We can do that cheaper." And they did. This .45 ACP submachine gun cost $20, had just 5 moving parts, and fired 450 rounds per minute. Tank crews loved it because it was compact. It looked like a mechanic's tool, earned the nickname, and served until the 1990s. Type 100, Japan. The Type 100. Japan's only mass-produced submachine gun, and they barely made 25,000 of them. Firing 8mm Nambu rounds at just 450 rounds per minute, it was underpowered and complicated. Japanese doctrine favored rifles and bayonets, so most soldiers never even saw one. Too little, too late. Suomi KP-31, Finland. The Suomi KP-31. Finnish engineering at its absolute finest. This 9mm submachine gun fired 900 rounds per minute and worked flawlessly at 40 below zero during the Winter War. The 71 round drum mag gave it serious firepower. One Finnish soldier with a Suomi was worth 10 Soviets with rifles. And that's not propaganda, that's history. MP28, Germany. The MP28. An improved version of the MP18, this 9mm SMG had a straight magazine and fired at 500 rounds per minute. German police used it throughout the war, and it was exported worldwide in the 1930s. You'll find MP28s that saw action on literally every continent. S-38, France. The MAS-38. France's compact 7.65mm submachine gun looked like something from a sci-fi movie. Short barrel, folding stock, and it fired at 700 rounds per minute. After France fell, some Free French forces used them, but most ended up in German hands. Unique cartridge meant limited effectiveness. Lanchester, Britain. The Lanchester. Britain literally copied the German MP28, added some British refinements, and issued it to the Royal Navy. This 9mm SMG had a bayonet lug, because apparently boarding actions were still a thing. 600 rounds per minute, solid brass construction. Expensive but incredibly well made. EMP-44, Germany. The EMP-44, or Irma Maschinenpistole. This was the prototype that evolved into the MP40. Chambered in 9mm, firing at 500 rounds per minute, it introduced the telescoping bolt housing that made German SMGs so compact. Only about 10,000 were made before the MP40 replaced it. Rising Model 50, USA. The Rising Model 50. The Marines were desperate for SMGs in 1942, so they got stuck with this .45 ACP disaster. It jammed constantly in Pacific sand and moisture. 550 rounds per minute when it actually worked, which wasn't often. Marines hated it so much they'd ditch it for captured Japanese rifles. -383 Zambian kwacha, Czechoslovakia. The -383 Zambian kwacha. Czech engineering meant this 9mm SMG had a bipod and could switch between 500 and 700 rounds per minute by adding or removing a weight. Excellent build quality, but complex and expensive. German occupation forces used captured ones, and it saw service across occupied Europe. Dux 53, Finland. The Dux 53. Wait, this is technically a post-war gun, but it was based on wartime designs. Actually, let's correct this. During World War II, Finland primarily used the Suomi. The Dux came later. Finland captured thousands of Soviet ppsh 41s during the Continuation War and converted them to 9mm. Practical Finnish thinking, use enemy weapons against them. MAB-38, Italy. The MAB-38. Actually, this is the same as the Beretta Model 38 I mentioned earlier. Let me give you a different Italian SMG, the Beretta Model 38 40-seconds. This was the simplified wartime version. Same 9mm punch, 550 rounds per minute, but cheaper to produce. It kept the quality where it mattered, reliability, and cut costs everywhere else. WW1, Poland. The WW1. Polish resistance fighters built this crude 9mm submachine gun in underground workshops during the Warsaw Uprising of 1944. It was basically a pipe with a bolt, firing at 600 rounds per minute. Rough, improvised, but it fired German ammunition and gave Polish fighters a chance against Nazi occupiers. UD M42, USA. The UD M42, or United Defense M42. This .45 ACP submachine gun was designed for American paratroopers but ended up with OSS operatives and resistance fighters. 700 rounds per minute, well made, but the M3 grease gun was cheaper. Only 15,000 were produced. It's one of the rarest American World War II weapons. L. Neuhausen M 1918, Switzerland. The Neuhausen M 1918, better known as the MP18, produced under license in Switzerland. Wait, let me give you actual Swiss innovation, the Führer MP41. Swiss-made, 9mm, toggle-locked action like a Luger pistol. Incredibly complex, expensive, and only issued to Swiss Army. It never saw combat because Switzerland stayed neutral. Narodny Pistolet Pulemiet, Soviet Union. The PPD-40. Before the ppsh 41, Soviets used this 7.62mm submachine gun. Drum-fed, 800 rounds per minute, beautifully machined, which was the problem. Too expensive and time-consuming to make when you needed millions. The ppsh 41 learned from its mistakes and became the weapon that won the Eastern Front. Halcon M 1943, Argentina. The Halcon M 1943. Argentina stayed neutral during most of World War II, but they still developed this .45 ACP submachine gun in 1943. It never saw combat in the war, but it's worth mentioning because its design influenced post-war South American SMGs, 700 rounds per minute, solid construction. Austin, Australia. The Osten. Australia combined the British Sten with the German MP40 and created this hybrid 9mm submachine gun. Quick barrel change from the MP40, simple construction from the Sten, 500 rounds per minute. Produced in 1942 when Australia feared Japanese invasion. The Owen gun was better, so only 20,000 Ostens were made. BSA Experimental, Britain. BSA made several experimental submachine guns during the war, but let's talk about something real, the Sten Mark V. This was the deluxe Sten, wooden stock, bayonet lug, better sights. Issued to British paratroopers and commandos. Still 9mm, still 500 rounds per minute, but now it looked like an actual military weapon instead of plumbing. PM9, Romania. The Beretta M 1941. Romania's domestically produced 9mm submachine gun. It looked like someone tried to copy the MP40 from memory. 600 rounds per minute, 25-round magazine. Romanian troops used it on the Eastern Front fighting alongside Germans. Crude but functional, which describes a lot of World War II weapons. Gavarme, France. During World War II occupation, French resistance fighters couldn't access factory-made weapons, so they improvised. The FN was actually Belgian, but French resistance used the simplest possible 9mm tube guns built in underground shops. No official designation, no serial numbers, just desperate people building tools of liberation one at a time. Hit that subscribe button, because next video we are covering every tank used in North Africa. You won't want to miss it.